Assalamualaikum everybody. Okay, so this is part 3 of our videos on the framework of research paper. Now previously I have already mentioned to you and I have already explained what you need to do for your research paper. I have already given you the full framework. Okay, make sure you follow it to the letter, meaning that it should be exactly the same, okay, as the format that is given to you. I'm very particular about the layout. Now before we do that, what we need to do is you need to administer a survey based on the topic that you have chosen. Okay, now how do you do a survey question? Now this is a very interesting question because you people tend to be very direct and very, straight to the point when you do your survey, and usually it's very boring. Okay, so we want to make our respondent interested in what we are saying. So usually when we do a survey question, number one you need to remember is you need to use simple language. Please do not use any bombastic words that people don't understand. Now my example is always about cleanliness. You know how it is. Okay, so I'm going to give you some example of questions that you can use in your survey, but please bear in mind you administer the survey for a purpose. There is a purpose why you ask this certain question. Which research question you want answers to based on the survey. Okay, now before that, let me just go through the general rule first. So your question should focus on the action word so that the respondents will be able to relate to the question. Now you remember let's say your topic is about cleanliness. Okay, your first research question, you want to know the factors that contribute to the fact that USM students do not maintain cleanliness. Okay, so how do you know this without being too direct? You cannot simply ask a survey question, why you people don't want to keep clean? What is that? You know, it's so direct and it doesn't reflect on the actions that the students normally do. Okay, all right. So limit your questions between 5 to 8. When you respond to survey questions, you don't like too many questions, right? It's the same thing. Your respondents do not want a lot of questions. Okay, you have basically 3 research questions. Okay, try and make sure that it corresponds to these 3 research questions. Okay, options given for each question should be between 3 to 5, not more than that. People will usually be very boring. Okay, we will be very bored when they want to answer too long. All right, so this is what you need to do. Okay, this is how you do your survey question. Okay, look at the sample that I am giving you now. All right, you are supposed to do something on punctuality, for example. So punctuality among USM students. Dear friends, we are from group whatever, BL3, BQ3, BQ9, course BIA3012, English for academic purpose. So the purpose of this survey is to find out whether USM students regard punctuality as important in their daily lives. Now you have your topic with you, right? If your topic is about cleanliness, then you say the purpose of this survey is to find out whether USM students like to maintain cleanliness of their surroundings. Okay, you give the meaning. Okay, by being punctual, we are referring to the fact that USM students should be on time for classes and other events. Okay, make sure when we say the survey will take only 2 minutes to complete, it takes 2 minutes to complete. Okay, don't say it here in the preamble, the survey will take 2 minutes to complete, but then people have to spend 10 minutes. Don't do that. Okay, so please choose the best option that reflects your opinion for each question. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated, or we appreciate it if you could respond before certain date, November 2020. Okay, so gender, faculty, year, and then these are the sample questions. I told you just now, don't create too many questions. It should be around 6 because you have 3 research questions that So your survey question should correspond to all these three. Okay, now let me give you an example. When you come to class, do you come on time? At least 5 minutes before the class start? A bit late only when you cannot avoid to? A late since the lecturer doesn't mind. Now, if you look at this sample question, okay, it corresponds to the first research question, okay, which is the factors that contribute, okay. In your survey, never ever do a question where it is so direct, like what do you think is the factor that cause students to come late to class? Oh my god, don't give me that kind of question, because it doesn't reflect on your action. Now if you look at number one, when you come to class, do you come on time? If the students choose the first option, on time, meaning that they are a punctual person, right? If that person chooses the second option, at least 5 minutes before the class start, still reflects on that person is punctual, then maybe not as punctual as the first person. Okay, bullet number 3, a bit late when you cannot avoid to. Now, this is the 50-50 kind of person. You know, yeah, I think I can be late, it's okay, because I cannot avoid it, alright? And then late since the lecturer doesn't mind. If the student choose late since the lecturer doesn't mind, you know that he has a negative attitude. I use he, because usually guys are late, okay? Alright, so your question should correspond to the research question that you have. Remember, for every topic there are 3 different questions, right? What are the factors, what are the impact, and one more is recommendation. Okay, so when you develop survey question, it needs to correspond to all these research questions. If you give question number 1, which research question does it answer? You must be able to identify that. Question number 1 will answer research question number 1, because this is one of the factors. Okay, the factor, one factor that students come late to class is because of their attitude. For example, if 70% students say they are late because the lecturer doesn't mind, meaning that one factor that contribute to the fact that you same students lack punctuality is because of the lecturer. Because the lecturer doesn't mind that the students are late. Okay, so that will be your first factor in your paper. Okay, so when you submit your assignment, do you submit before the deadline, submit the very day, request for an extension, you don't mind submitting late since the lecturer doesn't mind? Okay, this correspond to which research question? Is it the impact, is it the factor, or is it a recommendation? So when you do this, people, your survey question must be because you have a purpose. The purpose of administering this survey is to find the answers for your research question. So when you develop your research question, I will ask you, your question number 1, which research question does it answer? Okay, because it is not merely suka-suka, you just like it, you know, that's why I'm giving you the survey. No, your survey has a purpose. The purpose of your survey is to find out whether USAM students regard punctuality as important or not, for example. Okay, the purpose of your survey is to find out whether students want to maintain cleanliness or not, right? So that is how you do survey question. Okay, so homework, people. This week you need to come up with the draft of your survey question. I need minimum 6. Okay, then remember it must correspond to the research question. Okay, so all the best, people. This is part 3. Signing off. Assalamualaikum.